What's good, YouTube? It's me, Bush, back in another Squid video. I wanted to talk about the Tenpai dragons. This is going to be a very raw video, just going over some of my thoughts about the deck in general. It's a work in progress, but I figured I'd throw this together with everything that I've kind of been playing around with so far, so you guys can hopefully make it better. This is the archetype coming out in the new Legacy of Destruction booster pack that drops in about 20 days time in the TCG, and we already know in the OCG these guys have been wreaking some havoc. They're at least tier 2 at the very least, probably tier 1.5 after Snake Eyes and whatever else they have up there. This is predominantly a deck that goes second and does a lot of OTKs off of basically 1 or 1.5 cards. You can do over 30,000 damage with cards like Trident Dragon and just a plethora of Synchro Dragon monsters, because these guys are very, very battle phase oriented. Now, one cool thing that I realized, obviously this is a go second deck. I mean, personally, I feel like go second decks were very, very vulnerable. It's not going to do well enough at a YCS to probably win, just because going first, you have the onus to create like the end board. You can kind of control, you know, the tempo of the game. So that's when I realized a cool thing. Previously, I had a combo with KASHTIRA FENRIR that could go into the Salamangreat combo, and I realized, you know, you can kind of do the same thing here with Tenpai dragons because they are fire level 3 monsters. So, in the case of KASHTIRA FENRIR, what you can actually do off of one card is tap into the Tenpai engine. You can bridge directly into it. So we're going to normal summon Riseheart here, banish one random cash monster. It could be, you know, Unicorn. Maybe you're just playing FENRIR. But again, this is the preliminary stages that I thought was cool, so I'm sharing this with you guys. Hopefully you guys can improve on this, because this is very, very raw and just on paper. I threw it together really fast. We're going to go into Dracosack. Now, again, we're not locked into Xyz monsters because Riseheart here says if you use the effect in hand, that locks you, but we obviously normal summoned it, so it does not lock us. Spawn 2 level 3 tokens, and the nice thing about the tokens is they do go into Cherubini. So you guys kind of see where we're going with. Here, we use the effect of Cherubini as a cost to send a level 3 monster from our deck to the graveyard. In our case, we can send the Tenpai Dragon BAIDORA, which is one of the main starters in the actual deck. And then from here, we can link these off into Princess. So this is kind of cool because Princess can revive a fire monster, and it could actually revive Tenpai Dragon BAIDORA. We can then use the effect of Tenpai Dragon BAIDORA. If it's normal or special summon, you can take a Sangan spell trap from your deck and either add it to your hand or set it. So obviously we have access to now the field spell, or better yet, the Sangan Common, which does not require a discard to add a card from our deck to our hand. So Sangan Common, it says if this card was activated outside the battle phase, apply one of these effects. Add one level 4 or lower fire monster dragon from your deck to your hand, or alternatively, you can special summon a fire dragon monster from your hand, or we can do both if it's a battle phase. But again, I really wanted to emphasize kind of going first with this deck, if it's possible in some way, shape, or form to actually make a deck cohesive enough to actually go first when you win the die roll. That would be ideal, because I still feel like in Yu-Gi-Oh! Going second is just such a big risk. Sure, you can do well to YCS to top, but I think winning might be a lot harder, especially when good players are going first, and you're basically conceding to go second the entire tournament, which is very, very risky. Also, post-siding, you have no idea if you're going first or second, depending on your opponent. So I personally want to make it so this deck can go first and create an end board, and then when it goes second, it really, really shines because you're taking advantage of all of the Tenpai Dragon cards. So maybe we can kind of leverage that with the side deck. But again, back to the combo, we're going to add a copy of Tenpai Dragon Zongdora, who says a ignition effect. If you control a fire dragon monster, you can actually special summon this card from your hand. So we're going to do that. Obviously, these guys don't get any of their other major effects, which actually activate in the battle phase, but we're trying to make this as spicy as we possibly can. So we have some link plays here. We're not locked into anything. We can obviously synchro as well. So here's where I kind of got a little stumped, because there are some options. You're fire locked, unfortunately, so you really just have the option of going into like a Black Rose Dragon or the new Sangan Rise Dragon, Biden Dragon. So this has, if this card synchro summoned, you can target a fire dragon monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Also, it locks you into dragon monsters, and then it has a battle phase oriented effect. So from here, we can either reborn back the Zongdora or the BAIDORA, and this is where I'm kind of stuck at. So obviously, we're tapping into the Tenpai Dragon engine, but from here, we can't really do anything. We're locked into dragons, and we're also fire locked. So I'm not really sure what to do from this point on. If anyone has any tips, maybe you guys can let me know. But again, we're obviously going second in this combo, and our FENRIR just passes freely into the board, it's going to be a lot of damage, because we already have all of these guys who activate in the battle phase, and then this is effectively way larger than 33k if we do eventually go into Trident Dragon, which I actually have to add to this extra deck. I threw this together, but So without the battle phase, this is the extent of what I'm able to do. Can you guys sort of innovate on this? I'd love to hear in the comments below if there's any way to make this actually better. So this is the first combo I kind of came up with FENRIR alone. All right, now let's say we're going second with the FENRIR and we have a battle phase. That just changes everything because we do the same exact combo. We add the Rise Heart, we normal summon the Rise Heart, and then, you know, you banish, you do your thing, effect, make the Draco sack, BAIDORA to a grave for a cost. Princess effect brings back BAIDORA. BAIDORA's effect activates, add a copy of common. Battle phase, attack. So this is 27. Going to activate common. Common's effect's going to allow us to add and then special summon a copy of the fire guy. Thunderora's going to attack and then effect because at the start of the damage step in monster battles, you can special summon a level 4 or lower dragon monster from your deck, except Tenpai Dragon. So we're going to summon out the green one, so we have all the colors online. They take 15, and then we can attack for another 1600, and then still in the battle phase, we can use the effect to synchro with BAIDORA. This is not once per turn, by the way. If you have multiple copies of BAIDORA, you can keep synchroing. Gonna use Zongdora the Tuner to go off into the Sangan Rise Dragon Biden. So this is another 26. This effect allows us to special summon back one of our monsters. So we're going to summon back the BAIDORA. We're attack for another 26. Attack for another 17. So there's a lot of damage. You guys can kind of see where this is going. And of course, we are fire locked, but none of these monsters, they're all fire. So it just works out very, very well. And also use the effective Tenpai Dragon FENRIR here that says at the start of damage step, if a monster battles, you can resurrect a level 4 or lower fire monster. So we can resurrect the Zongdora, attack for 15. And then still in battle phase, we can use FENRIR to synchro summon. So we're going to go ahead and make Trident Dragon. Trident Dragon can then pop 2 cards we control, and it's just game, right? Like, this is a lot of damage. You don't even need the field spell boost to attack, you know? This just does so much damage. He's basically attacking 3 times. So yeah, it just demonstrates like the full combo with FENRIR. So give you guys an idea of something cool that you can do. And obviously this gets a little better when you open multiple combinations. So let's say you have FENRIR and BAIDORA. You can do some really, really cool stuff. Just go ahead and use BAIDORA's effect to add a copy of either Brimming Sangan Manor to potentially turn that on, assuming you have another card in your hand to discard, which you should. Otherwise, we can also use FENRIR to add a copy of a card that you might want to discard, so that's also an option as well. So you have a lot of options here to try to play around with the different things that you can do with the 2 engines. So this allows you to add a copy of a Tenpai Dragon monster from your deck to your hand. Also, fire dragon monsters you control are unaffected by your opponent's activated effects during the main phase 1 only. So it has a lot of cool applications that protects the deck as well, and you don't necessarily have to play into Ghost Ogre, for example. So let's say we just add a copy of Zongdora. We can discard the card that we added. From here, you can special summon out the Zongdora, and then from here, you can use these 2 to synchro off into Ancient Fairy Dragon. So this kind of turns on the potential of adding one of the planets, let's say Rathos in this case, and then from Rathos, you can either add Rise Heart or potentially maybe Scareclaw if you decide to play that, gain 1,000 life points. And, you know, you can also use the effect of Ancient Fairy Dragon to special out the Rise Heart. So this way we're not locked into Xyz as well, because this allows you to special summon a level 4 lower monster from your hand. Obviously, we're bypassing the effect of Rise Heart. We can still use this to banish. So this kind of turns on some more things as well. Gives us 3 level 7 bodies on the board. So there's definitely some plays that we can make. From here, we can obviously go off into the Princess line again and just go into the dude into the 2 tokens and then make the Cherubini into the princess. Like Cherubini can send some other thing. I don't think there's really, well, you can just send the green one, I guess, get that online. And then here is where again it kind of gets stuck. So yeah, you fire lock yourself when you summon out princess. So summon out the Zongdora, but then you're kind of like odd levels, you know, like 7 + 4 is 11. But you can also summon a Rise Heart potentially and then do something there maybe. Let's say you didn't use the effect earlier. Potentially you could do something here. Maybe just overlay these 2. So there's definitely some options of cool things you can do even in the main phase 1 just off the 2 engines. You definitely have a lot of applications. But I'm going to leave that to you guys to kind of innovate and take this idea and hopefully run with it. Before we jump in, guys, I just wanted to announce that we have officially launched the Squiddy store. Yep, if you guys want some Squiddy-tastic merch, check the link in the description, squiddytastic.com. These are all hand-drawn t-shirts that I actually hand-drew myself. Yeah, I have some subtle experience drawing cartoons here and there. But we have 3 designs so far, so guys, definitely check them out. They come in a lot of different colors and sizes, but we will actually have some more designs coming quickly along the way, so stay tuned tuned for some of your favorite creatures from the history of the game. And yeah, other than that, guys, just give us a quick look if you like some exciting merch to level up your game and also look kind of trendy at your next event. But yeah, let's jump back to today's Squiddio. So I guess at the end of the day, it boils down to what I think is that Tenpai dragons need a secondary engine that actually allows them to go first, and potentially KASHTIRA is like an answer for that. I don't know if the full package is necessary, maybe just the FENRIRs. It makes the deck a lot more consistent. It gives you the ability to actually have additional disruption on your turn because you could have the KASHTIRA FENRIR as another layer of protection. It makes Shifter a little better in this deck specifically because you can rely on the cash side of things when you're under Shifter, and then the Tenpais just allow you to synchro summon. It makes the level 7 synchros that can kind of bode well with the KASHTIRAs going to something like a Shangri-La or just overlaying in general. And of course, you can make things like Ancient Fairy Dragon, which allows you to pop either the Rathos to add the Sengen Manor and or vice versa. So that's just what I had kind of on the menu today. It was a very, very raw idea I kind of thought about on my way home today on the bus. So guys, let me know what you think, if there's a way to actually make this a lot better than it is. And if there's a way to make it so Tenpai dragons can actually go first, because I would ideally like to see this deck go first when you win the die roll, put up a board, and then your opponent has no choice but to also choose going first when they lose game 2 or game 1. And then that means we're going second when we're using the full potential for the deck. So that's just my thoughts on the deck. Would love to hear your guys' thoughts below in the comments. Let me know what you think about the deck so far. And other than that, we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Bye-bye.